She came out of nowhere in Storage Wars. Strong, with a sharp tongue, and never giving up. But Brandi Passante's reality TV fame came with a personal life that fell apart in ways that fans never saw coming. A scary cyber attack, a court case with a revenge porn boss, and a breakup that got bad. Everyone didn't know how much trouble Brandi was in. After that, she had panic attacks, went to therapy, and had to raise her 2 kids by herself while still being famous. Her voice changed, she had less energy, and then she was gone for a while. What really took place after the cameras stopped rolling? How did she get back? Keep listening to find out. She was born in Harris County, Texas in 1980. Many people know her from Storage Wars. Not everything about her life was perfect. When you were growing up with a lot of boys, you were teased, roughhoused, and got more than a few bumps and bruises. She even joked that the black eye in a picture of her as a child was just part of her early training when she shared it. Brandi has said that her childhood was rough, and that she often felt like the odd one out in her own family. She even thought about whether she had been adopted sometimes. One thing was clear though, even with all the chaos, she felt like she was meant for more. She wasn't going to settle for anything less. Jared Schultz has been her partner for a long time. They met in 1999 when they both worked at a carpet cleaning company. Brandi was quick to say that Schultz was wrong when he joked that she was after him. Their relationship didn't start right away. Brandi even said it took her a while to get along with him. Yet, Jared didn't give up, sometimes even too much. A friend they both had even left notes on his truck to remember him to be nicer to Brandi because he could be rude. Schultz later said that he didn't have good looks, so he used fun and charm to get by. In the end, their friendship grew, even though Jared was her boss at the time. Even though they never got married, they did raise 2 kids together, Cameron and Peyton. They have kept their kids out of the public eye for the most part. But Brandi has talked about the major health problems both of her kids had. Peyton was deaf and had a cleft soft palate when she was born. She had surgery on her ears when she was only 6 weeks old, and amazingly, it helped her hear. With time and speech therapy, she made amazing progress. Eventually, she joined the cheering squad, which gave her a huge confidence boost and helped her speak better. Cameron also went through hard times. Doctors found a mass on his kidney during a regular test for a urinary problem. His next stay in the hospital was 3 months at the Children's Hospital of Orange County. He missed some high school because of this. After they had kids, Brandi took care of the kids while Jared tried his hand at the banking business. However, taking a break from work made her feel alone and very sad. She loved her kids, but she wanted to feel like she had a role in life other than being a mom. That chance came when the economy went down and Jared lost his job and any help he was getting for being unemployed. They had no other choice but to follow a tip from Jared's aunt, who ran a storage facility and told them that units that had been left empty were sold at auction. The couple began bidding on boxes with the goal of selling them for money. Soon, they had too much stuff to store. Brandi even made fun of the fact that they were almost on hoarders. It got so bad that the city told them they would be fined if they didn't clean it up. Because of that pressure, they opened a thrift store every once in a while, which, believe it or not, led to their big break on TV. Brandi and Jared were still going to storage unit sales, but their little thrift store was starting to do well. They quickly became well known in that world. It was at one of those auctions that Jared met a TV director who was working on an idea for a new reality show. That idea would become Storage Wars. After some time, the same director came back, but this time with a group of cameramen. Sometimes they went to Brandi and Jared's store to shoot some test shots. By chance, Brandi was working the front that day, and the directors noticed her right away. Jared remembers that they asked her who she was, and if she would be willing to be on camera. Their chance meeting turned into the start of something much bigger than either of them had imagined. The video that was shot at their store was used in the first episode of Storage Wars. No one could have known at the time that the show would be so popular. Brandi remembered later that they were only asked to be on camera for a short time. They didn't know what would happen, but 2 million people watched the first episode of the show in 2010, and by 2012, they were twice as high. What started out as a small chance to get their used store noticed turned into a big deal for both Brandi and Jared on reality TV. Still, the fame made them feel different things. Brandi said that being in the spotlight all of a sudden was both a gift and a curse, and Jared said that they never really meant to be TV stars. Behind the scenes, they were under a lot of stress because they had to shoot, run their store, and raise their kids all at the same time. They were together all the time at work, at home, and on set, and Brandi talked about how hard it was on their relationship. They had some heated arguments, but in the end they found a pattern. Jared, who is always trying to find the good in things, joked that they could at least use the share lane, but fame had a bad side that neither of them saw coming. Brandi talked about how things changed after the show became popular on a podcast. All of a sudden, she started getting troubling letters from fans. Things got so bad that she had to move into a gated neighborhood to feel safe. It got worse from there. At times, her worry was so bad that she had to go to therapy just to deal with it. Having a baby on top of all that added to the stress. Brandi had 2 kids, Cameron and Peyton, and had to balance long-shot days with being a parent. She once said that returning home late and getting up at 4 a.m. to do it all over again was the worst part of her job. As the show's stars rose to fame, she and Jared were running 2 shops and a family, which she described as overwhelming at best. Even Jared agreed that Brandi was doing most of the parenting and running the business at the same time. The world of storage auctions is mostly guys, so Brandi had to be tough as one of the few women who worked there. Having rough boys as a child helped. She quickly learned that anyone could use any sign of weakness against her. She got tough and stood her ground. She showed over time that she wasn't just a member of the group. She was strong on her own. This strong woman was not ready for the digital storm that was about to happen, no matter how strong she was. Hunter Moore is the famous founder of the revenge porn site OneUp.com. In October 2012, The Hollywood Reporter reported that Brandi Passante had sued Hunter Moore. Moore put up an adult movie and lied about Pante being in it. Most people hadn't even heard of the word deepfake at that point. Moore, on the other hand, was already making it hard to tell the difference between what was real and what was made up by using false information to trick people. Pante allegedly found the video after getting a lot of scary messages on Twitter, now called X, from people talking about it. In her lawsuit, she said that the film not only hurt her reputation, but it also had a virus that could damage people's computers. She said that the attack hurt her emotionally, mentally, and professionally, and that it hurt her image. After the lawsuit became public, the adult entertainment network AVN asked Moore if he really wanted people to think the woman in the tape was Passante. They used examples of humor and parody being used in court cases in the past to cast doubt. At the same time, lawyers at Mirrored Law Group said Passante had a case for copyright infringement. However, Moore might try to defend himself under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. In her lawsuit, Passante asked for $2.5 million in damages, and even a summary judgment, which means that the case would not go to trial if the information was in favor of one side. Moore, on the other hand, did not act professionally during the process. The New Yorker says that when he was given the lawsuit, he reportedly sent Passante's lawyer a picture of male genitalia as a response. In the end, the judge agreed with Passante, but it was a sad result. Moore was told to pay only $750 instead of the multi-million-dollar award she was hoping for. Judge James Selner decided that there wasn't enough proof to support the full amount. The court did, however, issue an injunction that Moore could not use to share the pictures and movies again. According to reports, Moore would probably also have to pay Passante's legal bills. At the same time, Passante's career was going in a different way. She and Jared Schultz got their own A&E show in 2014 called Brandi and Jared, Married to the Job. They were riding high after the success of Storage Wars. Their lives outside of auctions were shown on the show. They were shown raising a child, running a business, and planning their 15th wedding together. But there were signs of real strain behind the jokes and fun times. Planning the wedding got a mess very quickly. Jared didn't seem very interested. He joked that he might hire a fake husband just to get it over with. When Brandi was dress shopping, he made her mad by telling her to stick to the sale rack, and she let her anger show on camera. Their relationship was beginning to show signs of wear and tear. It didn't end there. For fun, Jared thought he'd show their kids how to bet while they played pool. When he brought up the idea of putting a bar in the house, Brandi got very angry. Brandi was very honest when she said that relationships sometimes felt like just going through life with someone until the end. The show was made to show how much they enjoyed arguing with each other, and A&E played up that crazy energy. Jared joked that the fact that they fought all the time made their problems seem a little more real. Some people, like Storage Wars co-star Dave Hester, were skeptical and wondered if their parts were written, but Brandi made it clear that nothing was written down. In fact, she thought that writing would have made things worse because neither she nor Jared knew how to act. People didn't like Brandi and Jared Married to the Job, even though it had a behind-the-scenes look and a cheesy sitcom vibe. After just one season, it was quietly off the air. To make things right, the couple went back to Storage Wars, the show that made them famous. Then, in 2017, they showed up on the Mystery Men show. Jared didn't think twice when the hosts asked what the craziest thing they'd ever found in a storage unit was. A few days before, they opened 5 old wooden boxes that they had bought at an auction. There was a strange white powder inside Ziploc bags. Jared's first thought was, white stuff. When he looked at Brandi, he was half joking and half hoping that they had just hit it big. But Brandi, who has always been more grounded, saw something that made them stop. One of the boxes has a dog tag in it. That's when everything made sense. These weren't any drugs at all. They looked like ashes. Ashes from pets. 5 boxes full of dog bodies that have been burned. Jared was shocked. How many pets did these people have? Brandi said that the find made her sick at first, but then she felt guilty. Both of them knew what they needed to do. They turned the boxes in at the front desk, hoping that the owners would one day come back and get their beloved pets. It was a strange and serious moment. A quick change from being excited to caring. It got even stranger from there. The strain between Brandi and Jared was beginning to show up in real life. People had long thought that their constant fighting was part of what made them cute on camera. By season 12 in 2018 though, they had already broken up in a quiet way, out of the public eye. Fans began to notice the signs in 2019. It looked like Brandi and Jared were no longer on each other's social media. There was a big difference in Brandi's engagement ring and the pictures she posted of herself alone, some of them in bikinis. Then there were rumors that Jared had moved on and was dating a bartender named Rachel Beckman. She was said to work at the Rush Bar and Grill, which he had just bought a few months before. Brandi was also seen with other guys, but it never seemed like anything serious was going on. Then it was 2020, and Brandi was caught up in the chaos of the pandemic, just like everyone else. As California locked down, she kept things light on Instagram by sharing a picture of herself preparing her pantry with a big bottle of Maker's Mark in it. However, things did not stay funny. In a video chat with the Dad Diary on June 28, she said she had tested positive for COVID-19. She was honest about her complaints, like how she was losing her taste buds and having headaches and stuffy noses every day. On the 12th day, she finally said she felt like herself again. By the middle of July, she was sharing pictures from her quiet trips again. Things didn't stop being hard though. Brandi paid respect to her dad on Instagram that October, with a touching post and an old picture of him holding her as a baby. Her words were honest and from the heart. Her proud father had never yelled at her, so she called herself a daddy's girl. It was clear that the loss hurt a lot. Fans thought they had seen everything until she made the post that really shook the Storage Wars world. People were talking about Brandi's tweet in March 2021, which was a poster for the new season of Storage Wars. She put a devil emoji right over her ex-boyfriend Jared Schultz's face in the picture, which made it stand out. That brave move set the tone for the whole season before it even started. When Brandi talked to Distractify, she made it clear that she was enjoying being single, especially when it came to shooting. She sounded pumped up when she said she was more thrilled about this season than any other, especially since some of her friends were joining her. When the 2021 season came around after the pandemic, fans saw a group they knew. Regulars like Daryl Sheets, Kenny Crossley, Renee and Casey Nizota, Ivy Calvin and even Barry Weiss made a surprise return to host the sale. Dan and Laura Dodson were also back on the mic. The big surprise though was that Brandi and Jared were both back, but not together. Brandi told everyone right away in episode 1 that they were breaking up. It was quickly confirmed by Jared, who also said that they would still go to sales but do their own thing from now on. It was easy to see that Brandi and Jared were having a hard time on TV. Brandi didn't hold back when she told Jared he was stupid, after he spent $400 on a unit she thought was full of junk. For his part, Jared seemed to enjoy setting people off, and he even admitted that he'd probably bid against her just to see what would happen. The drama didn't just happen on the show though. Things took a big turn off camera just a few weeks after the season aired in April 2021. TMZ says Brandi was at a bar in Orange County with friends when Jared showed up without being asked. People who were there say the argument heated up quickly. It was said that things got physical after Brandi asked him to leave. Later, the police said Jared did push her twice. He was already gone when they got there, but a report had been made. When police called Jared back, he denied getting physical. He planned to fight the charge, and his lawyer hoped the case would be dropped. But different witnesses gave different versions. Some said he barely touched her, while others said he never got up. At the end of the day, Jared was charged with misdemeanor domestic violence attack. After that, he simply stopped showing up on Storage Wars. The network never said for sure if he was actually fired, but he never showed up in another season. At the same time, Jared started going out with a new woman named Rochelle Beeman. Brandi, on the other hand, started to talk more about how the split had made her feel. In an interview on Spirit Talk, she said that it had made her emotionally numb, but therapy helped her see things more clearly. There was one lesson that really stuck with her. She wasn't broken, she was just shut down for a while. She said she was ready to love again, but only if the terms were right for her. They could not try to control her. That was the only thing she would not let happen going forward. In late 2021, Brandi posted something very personal on Instagram. A picture of her new tattoo on her middle finger, the word free, and a small bird. Even though she didn't say everything, the message was clear. In the caption, she talked about getting out of a tough position that, as she put it, not everyone makes it through. She put the number 3 as a bird on it and talked about National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It was a rare look into a part of her life she hadn't talked about in public before. Even though she didn't say who it was clear what she meant. Brandi went through a very hard thing and only survived. She came out of it stronger, more sensitive, and finally free. But just when things looked like they were getting better, something strange began to happen. After fans began to notice that something was off with Brandi Passante's voice during season 13 of Storage Wars in 2022, she took to Instagram to clear the air. Someone even sent her a message asking why her voice sounded so scratchy. Brandi didn't hold back. She took a picture of the message, put it on her Instagram story, and told a very private story. She was told she had Hashimoto's disease. Hashimoto's is an inflammatory disease that affects the thyroid. It can cause tiredness, weight gain, and yes, a raspy voice. The Mayo Clinic says that middle-aged women are most likely to have it. There is no cure for the problem, but treatments can help people live with it. But the disease hasn't slowed Bri down at all. That voice with a little rasp. A lot of her fans think it makes her more beautiful. Brandi kept working on Storage Wars even though she broke up with her long-term partner and co-star Jared Schultz. She didn't stop there though. Also, she tried her hand at podcast by being on an episode of Happening Now with Hammer. It began as a guest role but quickly turned into more. Brandi became a co-host of the show. Like always, Brandi kept things light and honest by making jokes about a recent night out and telling them exactly what she had been drinking. From dirty martinis to vodka sodas, she let people into her life when she wasn't on camera. It's fun, real, and easy to relate to. When she wasn't on the mic or in front of the cameras, her personal life also seemed to be getting better. She said that she was seeing Clifford Beaver, who owns the bar and grill in Orange County called Our Place. According to Brandi, the couple was still going strong in May 2024. She even sent him a sweet birthday message on Instagram with pictures of them together. The last new episode of Storage Wars played in August 2023, and since then, not much new had been on TV. But Brandi had something big planned. As of May 2025, she made it public that she and Brandi Passante would be starting their own podcast called The Real Reality. She told people about it on Instagram and a brand new account for the show, which had a nice promo picture and information about when it would be out. That wasn't all though. At about the same time, A&E's YouTube page posted a teaser trailer confirming that Storage Wars would be back for a 16th season. It was hard to tell from the video. The group didn't show up, but there was a hint of what was to come. Fans didn't have to wait long though. A few days later, Showbiz Junkies wrote a story saying that a bunch of fan favorites were coming back, and Brandi was one of them. The piece also gave hints that she would play a bigger part this time, possibly both on screen and behind the scenes. It looked like Brandi was going to make a full-on return.